Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Terraria Hardcore. This is your host or commentator, whatever you'd like to call me, Warren, and you can find me under DJ Random, DEEJ Random, on either Steam or the PlayStation Network. Today I'm continuing my preparation to fight the Eye of Cthulu, and I need a little bit more room, so I made myself a couple of chests so I could just dump all my stuff into, but I'm taking my stuff out, so I'm putting most of my stuff in the chest and I'm taking what I need out. And as you'll see, I'm starting to go through and search for more metal so I can start making a good suit of armor and a better weapon. I did start that last week, but this is just an ongoing process, and as I continue, I'll start making things like bow and arrow and things of that nature. I believe I'm going to need ranged attacks when I fight the Eye of Cthulu, because as the starting boss, he's kind of tough. I mean, he's really easy once you get into the game and you get better equipment, but when you're starting out, he's tough. He's this big eyeball that flies down. He shoots other eyeballs out at you. And then when he gets down to a specific level, he spins around and starts trying to eat you with his teeth. Yeah, eyeball with teeth. Go figure. Anyway, so I am looking for metal, and you can use the map to look for metal because it shows the various pockets of metal on the map itself that are different colors. And I think I discussed this last episode. So what I do is I just go in here and I'm looking for metal. And I found some earlier, so I went ahead and cleared this area out, and I'm going to just start mining for more. Now, you gotta understand that this part I'm showing you is a major part of the game. You're going to be mining stuff, probably for the most part. It's like when you're in the middle of this mining, it's not very exciting unless you're looking for, say, a specific type of metal and you're going towards a pocket, and then you find that there is a huge amount right underneath you that you didn't see. That happens more than you might think. I always carry torches with me. It helps me see where I've been, and it also helps light up the area so I can see if there's any metal or other minerals around me that I didn't see before. As I'm going, I'm not just looking for metal, I'm looking for things like clay that I can turn into bricks and other crafting material. Now, as you can see, I find some copper, and at the beginning of the game, all these veins of metal are going to be very small, at least when you first start out. So you have to find all that you can. Eventually I'll start running into bigger veins of ore. But for right now, I'm just going for the tiny ones and trying to get up enough to start making a new set of armor and a better weapon. I did have enough to make a better copper sword, and I made armor out of wood, but like, the wood armor is the weakest in the game. The greaves don't even have any defense on them. And my goal is to make, I believe it's gold armor is the strongest I can get right now. I'll have to look that up. It's gold or iron. And that is what I am trying to find. Now, another thing that better weapons will do is they'll have better knockback abilities. As you saw right there, I wasn't able to knock the zombie back at all, really. And being able to knock back the enemy really helps you when you're trying to conserve your life. As you can see, I only have 5 hearts, and I have to be really careful about who I attack and what type of damage that happens, because this is a hardcore character and I want him to live as long as possible. In fact, he's actually starting to live a little bit longer than I thought. I figured I would die by now through some freak accident, but I haven't yet, so I'm starting to become attached to the hero, who goes by the name Hardly Here. I named him Hardly Here because he's a hardcore character and I didn't figure he would last long. Go figure, right? So, here we go. Nice metal. Now, I am digging in ice and snow right now, and I'm getting a lot of ice blocks, I'm getting a lot of snow blocks. I'm basically using the ice to help me as I go through digging up the tunnels and such, because I have to have some blocks to help me get up and down. I don't have a very high jump at the moment, so when I want to go up something that I've dug down, I have to use those blocks. I have to carry a stack of blocks with me. And as you can see, even though I don't have very much armor on, it's actually helping me a lot more than it did. If I didn't have that armor, it would have taken me down about halfway just fighting this slime. And these slimes can be annoying because they just jump at you. And if you get them in a group, they can be hard to fight off. Now see, when the light went off, I found something I didn't. When the light shined on everything, I found something I didn't expect, which was the copper vein on top of the iron vein. So I got real excited here because I was able to find a decent vein of ore. And over to the right, you see there's another one, and I thought that was really awesome because this means I can start crafting something. Now, copper is the weakest metal that we have, and if you guys don't realize it, there are a couple of different types of worlds in Terraria. There's the corruption world, and then there's the crimson world, and each world has different types of metals in it. In the corruption world, the base metal tends to be copper, and in the crimson world, the base metal tends to be tin. So they basically have the same properties as you go back and forth, but you know, they have different looks. So if you are playing with a friend, you can go ahead and swap out metals and get different looks. Now this is a little bit later. As you can see up in my inventory, I went back and I forged the ranged weapon that I was wanting. The 4th box over I now have a copper bow and arrow, so I can do range combat. This combat will help me be able to stay alive a little bit longer if I look at things a little bit more tactically and not just rush into the situations. I'm digging some more tunnels out as I head to different pockets of metal. this actually doesn't just take me to the metal, it creates this kind of underground warren of tunnels that I can use to live in. And I can also set up traps and such for different monsters that come. Not traps exactly, but I can make the terrain harder for the monsters to traverse, thereby creating a kind of field of carnage, so that when they're attacking me, I can survive. That's one of the things that, it's one of the ideas that you need to think about when you're playing Terraria, is setting up the terrain for the monster types that you're going to attack, or that are going to attack you. Knowing the terrain is a really good idea in this game because it can help you survive in times when you might not think you could survive, especially in the early parts of the game when you don't have jack for equipment like I do now. And as you can see, I'm using the blocks of ice that I was talking about earlier to start building platforms and such to the areas I need to get. Can't jump very high, so I have to use something. Now, what I'm using here is ice, which is probably not the smartest block to use because it's very slippery. And I found another pretty big copper vein, and that's really good. It means after I go back up top and get back to the forge, I can probably build myself some copper armor and get rid of the wooden armor and have a little bit more defense, which will be nice because every little point of defense helps in this early part of the game. I'm also looking for other things, like you see up in the left hand corner there's the purple light. That is probably an altar, and it's a crafting station that I'll have to use later. You craft things like a mysterious eye that can summon the Eye of Cthulu and some weapons later in the game. And right now I'm just heading over to another pocket, so you can see I'm going down because I noticed that there was a bit of metal that I wanted to get in on the map itself. I love this map. When I first started playing, Terraria didn't have a map like that, and it was a lot of guesswork to figure out where everything, all the metals and such were. You could go online, you could look in forums, and it would tell you like at what depth certain metals appeared. So you would just go to those depths, or what you thought was the depth, and try to find these metals, or download a third-party application on the PC, and it would give you a map that you could find. In the other picture, if you saw one of those red glowing, on the map, if you saw the red glowing thing, that's what I'm headed to now. That means that there's a crystal heart there, and a crystal heart will give you more life. And that's one thing that I really need right now. You find these crystal hearts strewn about the world, you mine them, and then you can use them to add a heart to your life. To your character. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm just mining over there. I'm going to go down and get the crystal heart, and we'll be done for this episode. Next episode, I will explain a little bit more about the crystal hearts and show you exactly what I'm doing with all the metal I'm getting. Of course, I have to be really careful as I go down and get this, because if you notice, there is a lot of enemies down there. I know that I can take them out, so I wasn't real worried. But you do have to keep in mind that I I don't have a lot of health, and you can see the health that is taken from me just trying to get down to that heart. And there's the heart. I'm going to go ahead and go down there and take it, and that will be the end for today. Thank you for watching Terraria Hardcore. I am Warren, DJ Random Online, and if you like this video, go ahead and subscribe. I would love to see you guys here for future updates. You have a great night or a great day.